Hey everybody, Haku here with a very belated Tower of God chapter 270, season 2, episode 190 review. Now this one was pushed back a lot due to some health reasons early in the week with me being sick, and some weather reasons like in the past 2 days because of very severe weather. So yeah, all that's over with. Now I'm hoping to come back with a vengeance and really pump out like 2-3 videos a day as much as I can. Maybe take it easy some days and only do one video, just to keep my ideas fresh so I'm not trying to force anything. All of that stuff. No more wasting time. Let's get into reviewing this really amazing chapter. I did really enjoy this one. Before I get down to like breaking it down part by part, I want to say that it was exciting. It really kept my interest and kept me like hyped all the way through, and it was really good at building hype. I mean, it had events happen. It wasn't just all building like I think it may have been the chapter before that was mostly building, but this built very well, but also served as a good story of its own. And specifically with the building, it really built for both of the current events that are going on. It built a lot for the last round of the dollar show because of a lot of the different reactions that characters had and things that characters said. And I think I'm most interested to see how that plays out, because I really think they have built it, and I just want to see just them get through the action of it. And the other thing it built for, of course, is the Pedro versus Yuri fight, which looks just so far, it looks like it's going to be amazing. The panels this week were just mind-blowing for that fight, especially the one, I'll talk about it later when I'm breaking it down. I'll get into the specific panel because I know a lot of people really liked it, and it was really cool. So first up, I'm going to get into Bomb's first little speech to Joaquin, and we get all of the reactions from like Rack, Rachel, Kun, I think maybe Ryun, Sachi and Boro, of course, and especially the new girl. I think that her reactions were really telling through this. It really it makes you think. It builds the sort of mystery for what her actions are going to be, whose side she's going to take. And I still really think that she's going to take Bomb's side, because if I'm going to just throw out a prediction right here and now, I think Joaquin is going to sort of save up most of his dollars, and then once we get to the last hostage, Joaquin and Bomb are going to be fighting, and Bomb isn't going to be able to get to the person in time. And I think that the new girl is going to save the final hostage. Just help Bomb out to save the final hostage, because that's just, I think that she looked moved by Bomb's resolve in defending his opponent's teammates and his thoughts on sacrifice. Also, it was very interesting that Rachel could have killed Bomb or at least tried to kill him, by raising the liquid, but she didn't. And the same thing, Kun didn't want to, they're both acting a little out of character. Kun really did not want to save Elliot, but in the end he went and followed through with Bomb's plan, and he said, the kindness isn't good for my heart, which was a hilarious line. It was very entertaining. And a lot of the reactions to that I really liked. How everyone's saying, wow, like Kun will stand with Bomb and will respect his decisions and help him with this. I think that was really important to see how loyal Kun is. He is like undyingly loyal at this point, because it was a big step for his character. And he even brings up with Rachel's character, why you could have killed him, why did you do what you did? And again, just throwing out my personal ideas, I actually think that Rachel cares for her teammates, and she doesn't like the way Joaquin's been talking to her. So even if she still is a bad guy and doesn't like Bomb, she wants to be like the center of attention. She wants to be the person who's going up the tower with her team, and she doesn't like Joaquin instead of him thinking that he's her teammate, he thinks that he's her ruler, and I don't think she likes that. And of course we get Khun's decision now that he's going to follow all of Bomb's decisions, which is going to be very cool because I do want to see how it's going to play out with Bomb trying to save both teams and what Joaquin's even going to do. Like if he could just sit there and win by dollar amount if Bomb saves everyone and he doesn't do anything. But I don't think he's going to take a victory like that. I think Joaquin's going to try to throw a spanner in the works, so to speak, and just screw with him a bit. Like, Joaquin is just too arrogant for his own good. He's too arrogant to just take the easy victory by number amount. So he's going to try to take the victory by blocking bombs so that somebody dies. Though again, I think the new girl's going to jump in. They won't really die. But I think that Joaquin's own ego is going to screw himself over in the end. Now, Sachi has noticed that Bomb is getting faster every time he goes down the tube, and he theorizes that this is because of Bomb's bloodlust. And maybe, I don't think bloodlust is like the complete best word for it, but I think that sort of devotion and dedication and the anger at Joaquin's attitude, I do really think that that is playing into it, and that Bomb's emotions are feeding his power. And it's like something that SIU said in the blog post. It's not that Bomb's the main character, so he's always going to be right, and he's always going to have the best ideals, because in the end this might not be for the best, but it's what Bomb wants, and I think it being what he wants and his own emotions toward it make it a lot more stable of a story point. And of course we get Bomb's great speech about how he's going to save everyone and they're all going to go home together, because sacrifice isn't like what Joaquin thinks of sacrifice. Sacrifice is noble and meaningful. And I like that a lot, because I feel like seeing Moontari die to Elliot and then saving Elliot has really been a growth in Bomb's character emotionally, which is always good. I like to see characters growing emotionally like that. And then we flip from there to our Pedro and Yuri fight, and it starts out, and man, like, all the panels were really cool. There was the one messed up one where Pedro was missing his mustache, but either way, ignoring that one like mishap, it was so good to see their fight. All the panels were amazing, and the dialogue was so great. One of the best looking parts definitely was seeing Yuri's attacks. She has like those explosion punches, and one of the best panels to me was where it was just her standing there, then the huge crater and destroyed floor that was very detailed, and then Pedro standing on the other side of the crater. That was really great looking. I really applaud that panel. And of course I applaud the one that's been used in the thumbnail for the chapter on the wiki, and I've seen around a lot with the Tower of God stuff, and that is the reveal of the purple Dementor, which is the observer that Pedro got from Karaka, and it looks freaking amazing. I really want to see what its powers are, and in general what Pedro's powers are, because it seems like the way they keep talking and the sound effects make it seem like he could be robotic in some way. So I think that's also something I want to see fleshed out more, like the origins of Pedro and his relationship with Karaka and FUG, and also more about the Purple Dementor. Like, overall, I think Pedro's a super interesting character, and I'm really glad to see like a high ranker fight. I really am excited to see Pedro versus Yuri. Just I would rather see it after, my personal opinion, I would rather see it happen after we do a little bit more of the final round. I'd like to see us get through like a full chapter or two of just the action and content of the final round, and then go ahead and do that fight, and maybe have the fight going on at the same time as maybe like the final hostage of the final round of the dollar show. Something like that. So yeah, I think that was about it. The Dollar Show stuff was amazing, both plot-wise and building-wise, and the same was true of Yuri versus Pedro. It looked so great, just brilliantly done, and the dialogue was great again. I loved Yuri's reaction to seeing the purple Dementor. It's ugly as shit, but yeah, all of that was great. The plot progression was great, the building was great, and also the art was great. There were a few low points in the art, and the pacing, while the pacing is the normal fast pacing of Tower of God, some parts just felt like, it feels like Go to Hell is being kind of paced weirdly because of adding in the Pedro and Yuri stuff. I'd like to see more of the chapter devoted to the actual game. And I'd like to see more of the game being played out. Like, the past 2 chapters have been mostly just quick saving the hostage, and then the rest of the chapter is just them like monologuing to each other. So now that we've gotten a monologue from each of them, Bomb and Joaquin, maybe we can just get down to the action and gameplay. And I'd like to see some like better action and gameplay, sort of like what was in Volume 1 with Hide and Seek and the Crown Game and the Final Exam. I'd like to see more stuff like that. Or even with the Return of the Prince saga, where we had, what was that one arc? The Untrustworthy Room. That game played out really cool. So I'd like to see some more playing of the game from Bomb and Joaquin, and more of a battle between the two of them. Like a physical battle, not the current battle of minds. So in the end, after all that rant, like I said, I thought a lot of the parts were great, but there were some parts I didn't totally like. And in the end, I was thinking about giving this an 8.5, but I actually think I'll give it 9 observers out of 10, just because the plot deserved an 8.5, and I'm going to bump it up that extra half a point because the artwork just looked really great, and I think it's some of those panels that I can go back to and look at again and still think they look great. Sort of like the one I love going back to look at that had really nice artwork where Akka and Bomb and everyone first arrived at the Neurotic Guardian. That was really nicely drawn, and I think that this was done as well as that. So, yeah. 9 out of 10 for the art and all. I thank you guys also very much for watching. Like if you liked the video. Comment down there what you thought of my thoughts and my review, and what you thought of the chapter itself. Subscribe for at least 3 videos a week of Tower of God, The Walking Dead, and One Piece. And I usually try to do an anime review every week as well. So, and I might start doing some random other things. I don't know. So, thank you all so very much for watching. Follow on Twitter for updates in case anything happens that impacts my videos in any way, like how this video was pushed back a little bit. So, I thank you all so very much, and I will see you all next time.